So I think it's a very high-profile article today in El Pais. It opens the front page of El Pais. It sets out a position which is, as you can imagine, not something that I'm going to confirm or deny. I've said that on a number of occasions that Gibraltar seeks a deal which will enable us to have greater facilities in respect of unrestricted immigration across that frontier, which has been so problematic for so long, and in respect of the movement of goods, not just persons. But I'm not going to get into the details of what are or are not the final issues. But I've said that we are a few phrases away from being able to find an agreement, and I've also said that we think that Frontex may be an agency that could assist us in delivering in a way that ensures that all parties are satisfied by the time that we're able to announce that we've agreed how to deal with these issues.
The article states that Spain is willing to temporarily renounce its demand for Spanish officers on the ground, but how temporary is this renunciation?
Well, look, as anybody will understand, the people of Gibraltar don't take a position in respect of the things that matter to us in any way that is temporary or temporal. We have a very clear view about what our position is, and it's not something that's going to change in any small number of years. That's, I think, abundantly clear.
The article by El Pais has gained widespread traction and is being summarised in the international press as saying basically that Gibraltar will have a border with the UK, but not with the EU and Spain. Isn't this effectively true, and how do you think this will go down on the rock, perhaps perceived more as Gibraltar getting closer to Spain than the UK?
Gibraltar will never be closer to Spain than to the UK. Our Britishness is in our blood, it's who we are, and that's never going to change by, in fact, the reality that we have today continuing. Because today we have an immigration border between us and the United Kingdom, and we have a goods border between us and the United Kingdom, and today we have a very light touch immigration regime between us and Spain. You flash your ID card or flash your passport. It's not often passed through the immigration machinery, and you can usually drive without your boot being checked, although it can be checked on some occasions. So what we're looking to do is not to change the relationship between us and the United Kingdom and the relationship between us and Europe. We're looking to ensure that we maintain our immigration and goods relationship with the United Kingdom as it is today, a continuation of what we have today, no more checks or controls, and indeed that as we move into a post-Brexit world, we have as much of what we have today in terms of the ability to move freely through the European Union, and if we can achieve more, even more. But that's not going to make us closer to anyone, or indeed closer than we are to the United Kingdom to anybody else, because as far as we're concerned, that's never going to change. And it's not that we're close or not close to the UK, or that we feel or we don't feel British because of how long we take to go into Spain. There could be a 20-hour queue, or there could be a no queue at all, and I still feel just as British, and I don't feel anything else as a result.
Spain has parked its sovereignty claim for the time being on this issue, but that is this Spanish government, and this deal looks to be a complex, delicately balanced arrangement that could take years to roll out. So how can it be made future-proof against a potential change of government in Spain to one a lot less cooperative?
I think the position that the Spanish Foreign Minister has put, interestingly, is exactly the same position that the former Spanish Foreign Minister, Señor Dastis, put, and he was appointed by the Partido Popular, that they were parking sovereignty as they were reaching the arrangements in respect of the withdrawal agreement. She has said that they're parking sovereignty in the context of trying to agree the UK-EU arrangements in respect of Gibraltar for the future. So look, that's the position that they're taking, and I wish one day that we will find a Spanish government that will finally renounce the Spanish sovereignty claim, and that we can put that behind us. At the moment, we're dealing with trying to ensure that we reach arrangements that are as close to the arrangements that you would expect a treaty to show, which give you the security of a treaty, as possible. But it's impossible to go beyond the security of a treaty. And if you wanted to look at the value of treaties, there's Utrecht, where Gibraltar was ceded in perpetuity.
Even if the basis for a treaty is agreed in the coming days, the treaty itself will not be in place on the 1st of January. So can you give us a time frame for when we could expect it, and what would happen in the interim?
The Spanish Foreign Minister herself said on Saturday night, as I've said before, that we expect that if we're not able to have all of the arrangements that we need in place by the 1st of January, we expect to be bridging the arrangements that we have today insofar as that is possible. So none of us will want, if we're able to reach an agreement to seek a treaty, none of us will want that to take any longer than it needs to, and none of us will want to see people suffering as a result of that period having to be extended beyond the 31st of December. So I sincerely hope that we'll be able to work together to have an agreement, to turn that agreement into a treaty, and in the interim period to continue to have the arrangements at the frontier operate in the way that gives business efficacy to the lives of people who need to cross that frontier, whether they're citizens of Gibraltar wanting to go to Spain, or whether they're cross-frontier workers of any nationality who live in Spain and come into Gibraltar.